Okay, a company has a setup cost of 2,500 for the production of widgets. The cost to produce a single widget is $10. Write an expression that gives you the total cost of producing X widgets. And so we might even use function notation for this. Maybe we call that T of X. T of X standing for total cost. So how much would it cost to produce X number of widgets? Well, the total cost would be your startup cost, which is 2,500. You're setting up your business. And then for every widget, it's going to cost you $10 times X. So that means that you're going to be spending a different amount of money depending on how many widgets you produce. Okay, write a rational equation that gives you the average cost. So for average costs, I'm going to use A of X per widget for X widgets. Per widget when X widgets are produced. So the average cost means that you're going to actually divide by X. So the average cost, A of X, equals the total cost plus, so that's the total cost divided by X. This is a rational equation because you see I have X to the first power in the denominator. But if we give you, we're going to do two examples where you're going to see how that affects the total cost versus the average cost. Find the average cost of when 50 widgets are produced. Interpret your results in a complete sentence. So if we want to find the average cost of 50, we're going to find A of 50 equals 2,500 plus 10 times 50, and then we're dividing it by 50 because I want to know how much does it cost me per widget. The numerator is going to tell me the total cost. So that's 2,500 plus 500, correct? Isn't that 10 times 50 is 500? Over 50 equals 3,000 over 50. So this right here was my total cost. And this right here was my number of widgets. And if I divide them, isn't that 60? You understand how I divided that? Do it on your calculator. Make sure I'm correct. I still want to get mine out right now. So what's the average cost per widget? Well, we could write a sentence saying, if we produce 50 widgets, they cost $60 each, right? Because my total cost divided by the number of widgets I have produced gives me my average cost. Find the average cost for 1,000 widgets when 1,000 widgets are produced. So that would be A of 1,000. Now, do you think it costs more if I produce more widgets? What about my total cost? Is my total cost going to go up if I produce more widgets? My total cost will be higher. But then what ends up happening, I think why you're saying no is because probably the average cost means it's going to go down the cost per widget. And that's the reason why, like a company like Nike, are they just producing 10 pairs of shoes? No, they're producing, that's my total cost right there. If I produce 1,000 widgets, it's going to cost me $12,000. There's where my comma is. Divided by 1,000. Now if I divide that by 1,000, I get 1,250. So the average cost to produce 1,000 widgets is $12.50 each. So what happens is, even though your costs are going up, your total cost is higher. But if you average it by the number of widgets, Now the average cost goes down. And so that's how you're able to even, keep the price down, because you're like, well, it actually only cost me $12.50 now. This is why companies, they produce a lot of things, not just, a handful of them. An artist might produce one painting, but if you're in business to make a lot of money, you want to produce a lot. That's where the mass production comes in. So the average cost goes down per item. Any questions on that?